solution-focused manifesting. I want to share with you guys something that I actually used to do as a psychotherapist. As many of you know, I'm a former shrink. And what I used to do is I used to use one theory called solution-focused therapy. And now I've shifted that away from therapy to coaching, solution-focused manifesting. And I want to share with you what that looked like and how you can use it right now for you to get results in anything that you want, anything that you desire. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So stick with me to the end of the video because you're going to like this. It's super easy and so practical that it'll help you. But before we get started, welcome. My name is Rose and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you can have the life that you want. If you are interested in joining the Rosey Life course and community where we meet live every single week, I think I have I have about 25 hour-long lives with lecture and Q&As from all the course members in there already. It is really good in-depth content that I have there. They're all recorded. You don't have to show up for the live, and you can answer questions anytime in my private forum with all the other course members in there as well. It's a wonderful, loving, supportive community. And you can rewatch all of those videos anytime you want. And like I said, it really dives deep into a lot of questions that you probably have. So if you're interested in that or working with me one-on-one, you can go to RoseyLife.com and find out more information about that. So also, if you're interested in one of the retreats coming up, I'm going to be in San Diego on February 6th. And it's going to be a one-day full retreat, and then in Chicago, March 6th. So you can email me directly for those. Those are not on my website. You just send me an email and I'll send you all the details about that. So solution-focused manifesting. Why I thought about this is because I remember when I used to do therapy for years, and one of the modalities that really stuck out to me was solution-focused therapy, because as I was a grad student, I noticed that I wasn't very tolerant to hear people complain and whine and tell me all the details of their backstory. And it's not that I wasn't compassionate, is that I had this desire, this strong desire within me to get to the point, and so that I can hear what it is that they wanted. And so I stayed away from a lot of other modalities of therapy, there's so many, but I stayed away from a lot of modality of therapies that were traditional therapy and with their traditional forms of, and what that means is someone comes in, they tell you what's wrong, and then the therapist says, well, how can I help you? Right? This is very standard. I used to not only do this, but I was a professor at a university and taught new students how to be therapists. So I know the whole dynamic very, very well. And so you come in, you ask them what is wrong, what they would like your help with, and immediately they begin telling you their entire life story. And some people choose to go back to their childhood, and some people just remain right now and tell you what's wrong, what they're feeling, what the problem is, the people involved, all the side effects, all the worries, how they can't sleep, how they can't think, and they go into these rabbit holes, and before you know it, their 45 minutes or 60-minute session is over with just that. And then they walk out feeling good for a little bit because they just were able to get this off their chest. But then they come back next week and update, well, how's this week been doing? And then the therapist might give you a couple questions and ask you okay, well, here are some ideas on how you can cope with this thing that you are now diagnosed with, and you are told that this is what is wrong with you. So you tell your therapist all your symptoms, and then here is what's wrong with you, and this is your diagnosis, this is what you have, right? So now I'm going to teach you how to cope with these feelings, how to cope with these thoughts, how to cope with these symptoms, and how to cope with these people that are it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You can only be in charge of yourself, and it's not your responsibility how other people act. You can just choose how you react to them. but it's not your fault. How they act, how they respond, it's not your fault. It's not your problem. It's not your responsibility to change people. It's like, yeah, they put the focus on you, but they still in a form of blaming. Well, I didn't have the patience, and I thought it was because I was impatient that I didn't want to hear people's constant details and stories and backstories of their life. And I remember sometimes I felt a little weird as a therapist, being a therapist, but not wanting to hear people's problems at the same time. I was like, well, what's wrong with me? Why don't I want to hear all of these details? And I felt and I labeled it then as an impatience. I'm like, get to the point. What is it that you want? How do you want me to help you? What is it that you want different in your life? And that is how I knew that I was going to be a solution-focused therapist. And so when I worked with my clients and they would come to me and they told me they were talking to someone for like 5, 10, 15 years about the same problems in their life that showed up in different ways. And I'm like, well, you're not dealing with the issue. You're not dealing with the solution. And when I would point this out to them, I would point out solutions based off of what they wanted to have in their life. And they said, well, I can't have that. That's not an option. Well, I can't because those people are like this. I can't change the government. I can't change the people. I can't change my family members. I can't change these circumstances that I grew up in, right? They immediately wanted to go back to the problem, and I would immediately bring them back to the solution. Eventually they would catch on, and I would show them that they were in charge and empowered, and they were able to change things in their life. And so I thought about this and I said, this is not very similar to manifesting, right? When I read people's comments on YouTube or people in my community, or when coaching clients come to me one-on-one, those are my favorite because then I really get to hear all that backstory that you're trying to do. I don't let people get away with their excuses and their story. I immediately redirect them and I tell them, what's the solution here? What do you want? And solution-focused manifesting is simply this. Ask yourself the question, what do I want? You answer that question, and that is your end. That is your focus. And anything that comes after that with a but this, but they, but we, but I, anything that comes after your answer is your own limitation, is your limiting belief. You don't even have to go search for your limiting beliefs. They actually pop up out of your mouth or in your thoughts or with your feelings. As soon as you ask yourself, what do I want? This is what I want. And I mean, what do I want? So let's say it involves an interview, a boss, and let's say it involves another person or money or anything, and you think that you have to get that thing or person to change so that you can get what you want. You're still not answering the question of what do I want? I want this. One of the community course members this morning, because I just finished the weekly live that I do, and she said that she wants to attend a specific retreat, and she said, but it's almost perfect. And I said, well, why is it almost perfect? And she said, well, because you have to share rooms with like 4 other people, and I want my room to myself. And she says, and I'm not sure about the payment, and maybe I should just be asking them to extend if I can pay later. Or she was telling me all the details. Do you see? She wasn't telling me what she wanted. And when I asked her, why is it almost perfect? And she said, I want the room to myself. And I said, well, then that's what you focused on. I said, it may or may not be that retreat. I said, your end is to focus on what I want. And what is it she wants? She wants a room to herself. She wants to have the perfect retreat. She wants to feel like she's in the perfect retreat and she has a room all to herself and she's happy. Do you see? But none of this has anything to do with payment, late payment, sharing rooms. You get sucked into all those details instead of just going right to the solution. What is it that I want? So if you look at manifesting the same way that I performed therapy, and this is how I perform my coaching, what do I want? Anything that comes after that is your own limitation, your own belief, your own rules that you're making up for yourself to hinder yourself from you receiving what you want, because now you're putting the focus on them, they, how, when, all of those obstacles. That is not your focus. Your focus is the solution always. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. Stick to the solution. Remember, what's the solution? I'm the solution. What is it that I want? That is what I focus on. Anything after that is me making it up. The solution, the solution, the solution. Do you see? All right, you guys. I hope you guys love this video. And thank you so much for liking my videos and sharing my videos and subscribing to The Rosey Life. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate your love and you just being here and supporting The Rosey Life. Because this is why we're here, is to remember to free your mind so you can follow your heart and get what you want. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.